Hello. This is Gresh from the I Am CEO podcast, and I have a very special guest on the show today. I have Tyinna Singleton of Around-the-Lectual Girl. Tyinna, it's awesome to have you on the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Super excited to have you on. And what I wanted to do was just read a little bit more about Tyinna so you can hear about all the awesome things that she's doing. And Tyinna is the creator of Around-the-Lectual Girl, a lifestyle brand that seeks to showcase authenticity, spread love, and spark growth in marginalized individuals. She is a video blogger and inspiring podcaster. And through her daily videos, PYTyinna allows the world to experience her highs, lows, and life lessons. All this is in an effort to motivate and inspire others to become a better version of themselves and achieve personal fulfillment. Tyinna, are you ready to speak to the I Am CEO community?
I'm ready.
Awesome. Let's do it. So the first question I had was to hear a little bit more about like what I call your CEO story and what led you to start your business.
Okay, so what led me to start my business? So it was kind of an accident. To be completely honest, I stumbled across it. So a little bit about myself. I'm 29 years old. I am a wife. I'm a mother of twins. I'm a video blogger when I'm not working my 9 to 5 on my weekend job. So I have a very, very busy life. I'm from a very small town. I always felt like I had big dreams and I wanted to achieve so much, but it wasn't until I left from out of that small town, actually Morgan City, Louisiana, at about 17 years old, that I realized I was really ill prepared for the world. I got a lot of pushback with a lot of things. I started to become very uncomfortable with how ill prepared I realized I was. Everything from my accent to my unconventional personality. I've been told a lot of people from Louisiana are special people, and I learned that very quickly, coming out of a small town and out of my comfort zone. I felt like a fish out of water. But eventually, I kind of hit a rough patch in life. I was working a lot of jobs that really wasn't fulfilling. I hated them, to be completely honest. Money was tight, and all of my attempts to try to, achieve different endeavors would just fail left and right. So I started to get discouraged. I'm like, man, I got to do something, but, I feel like I need some direction so I can try to get myself together and keep the hope of achieving my dreams. And I went looking for like different classes and, all this lifestyle stuff, things like that. But I couldn't really find anything that fit me. I felt, to be completely honest, very discouraged. I felt unworthy of a lot of the classes. I was finding a lot of stuff on budgeting and, investing and credit. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to pay the rent, and I'm like, I'm not ready to budget. I'm trying to figure out how to pay the rent. I know my money's tight. I'm not spending it anywhere because I don't have any, So I went through that whole phase for a while, just feeling very discouraged, and when I would find something, it just was never candid enough to me. It was so pretty and flowery, and I'm like, this is not helping me. This is not helping me at all. So one day I was in the Wendy's drive-thru, and this is the truth. I was in the Wendy's drive-thru getting a 4 for 4 on my lunch break, and back when I was still eating horrible. And I hit the record button on my phone, and I started recording me just getting my thoughts out. And it was really just a type of therapy for me. And at that moment, I guess I sort of created what I was looking for, but on accident.
That's how you got started. I absolutely love that. It's funny because a lot of times, people will, start things not necessarily because they have this grand big vision or anything like that. It's just that they're looking for something and they don't feel like they can ever find it. And the next thing they're in a Wendy's drive-thru or wherever, and they're just saying, hey, why don't I just start creating? And next thing you know, you start to attract other people because other people are looking for the exact same thing. And it sounds like that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. It was so on accident. I couldn't, sit here and I wish I had a fancy story that said, I always wanted to do this. But the truth is, I never knew that, this would bring me so much joy, let alone help so many people. And I'm humbled by it, to say the least. But I was looking for something. I felt discouraged. I don't come from a very, pretty background. I always felt like, other people had so many different opportunities. And like I said, when I really got outside of, my little Louisiana town, I really started to see all the stuff that people had, and I just didn't. So it was so discouraging, You know, like how somebody like me will be able to achieve X, Y, and Z. Nobody that was doing what I wanted to do looked like me, you know, and if they were going through what I was going through, they wasn't talking about it, you know. So I was like, you know, I just don't feel a place, man. Like I don't fit none of these molds. And I just started recording, really trying to, you know, walk myself through trying to chase my dreams and chase self-fulfillment and becoming a better person. And somehow it turned into Around-the-Lectual Girl brand. And here I am.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I'm super excited to have you on and hear a lot more about everything that you're doing, because a lot of times people are going through things and going through difficulties, and sometimes they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But the
Yeah.
fact that you've been able to do that, you've been able to see that light, and now you're kind of helping other people see that light as well too. Definitely appreciate you for doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I know you touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to hear a little bit more about Around-the-Lectual Girl. Tell me a little bit more about what you're doing and some of the things you're doing to help support the clients you're working with.
Okay, so Around-the-Lectual Girl, well, first of all, the name Around-the-Lectual Girl kind of comes from my around the way girl kind of demeanor. You know, at first conversation with most people, they always say, you know, I'm very unconventional, you know, in my ways, but my commentary is very intellectual. So between the two, I kind of meshed and came up with Around-the-Lectual Girl. And it's kind of just what I meant with what I went with. But the brand itself, Around-the-Lectual Girl itself, the definition of it is, you know, one who's confident, independent, driven. You know, you possess a high level of intellect, real sharp attitude. You know, life of the party, all these things that describe me. You know, I define my own definition of beauty. You know, I do everything from heels to chucks with dirt on the toe, you know, like, and I'm bursting with personality. You know, I am who I am, and, you know, I try to own every last bit of that. But the brand itself, you know, was just what it was that I explained to you. Basically, I use social media, video blogging, podcasting as my outlet, but my intention is to reach marginalized individuals and kind of create a safe space, if you will, for communication, you know, that fosters love and has emotional support, and really sparks people to grow. So I do all of those things through like authentic conversations, you know, and just displaying my own journey to self-improvement, and into personal fulfillment. So like you said, in my bio, I pretty much display everything from my highs and lows. You know, I tell all of my life lessons, you know, just in the effort to let people like me know that you're not alone in this. You know, you may not have been given all the opportunities in the world. You may have tried a million and one things and none of it is working, you know, but I'm here with you, you know, I mean, and I try to be as candid as I can with that by just showcasing my own, not just talking about it and telling people you can do it, you can do it. I mean, we've been hearing that since, you know, the earliest days of school. Your kindergarten teachers like, you can do it, you know, yeah, that sounds great. I can do it, you know, but I failed 10 times, lady. Like, I'm not feeling so I can do it right now. You know what I'm saying? I hear you, but you're not saying much to me. So I'm not so much into just, you know, talking about it and trying to make people feel a certain way. Like, I want to show people through my own efforts that not only am I going to tell you what it is that I experienced and how I dealt with it, but I'm going to show you the effects that it has had on my own life, in hopes that you would at least try to do the same thing, you know. So that's pretty much what it is. I tell people all the time, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a counselor, I'm not any of those things, at least not yet. You know, my full intent is really just to speak to people like me, you know, marginalized individuals. Don't come from, you know, a pretty background or, you know, financial stability or anything like that, but you have dreams, you have aspirations, you have hopes, whether it be to own your own business or run a certain company or just be personally fulfilled and be a decent person. You know, a lot of stuff we weren't taught, you know, and I'm here to talk about those things, and I'm here to love you through it, you know, like, I'm all about spreading love, letting people know that, you know, I love you and I care about you, you know, positivity, you know, really pushing that out there and getting people comfortable, be able to talk about a lot of things that we just don't, and kind of work our way through the process of being who we want to be instead of accepting what it is that life gave us.
Exactly, exactly. And a lot of times, sometimes that hope isn't always there, but hearing somebody that has gone through certain stories and you being able to document your story and your life and all the things that you're going through and your journey helps to kind of empower other people too, so that they begin to have hope. They begin to feel like they're not alone, which often happens, when you're sometimes in a dark place.
Yeah, I remember feeling that way. I remember feeling like, man, I have so many aspirations to do so many different things. And it seemed like everything I try is just failing. It seems like everybody has so many different opportunities in front of them and I don't have those. So what am I supposed to do? And I couldn't find what it was that I was looking for from a person like me, where I felt comfortable enough to say, hey man, like I don't have it and I'm bummed out and I don't have nobody to turn to. You know, all the recommendations and suggestions that I'm getting from people is things that's not attainable for me. That's not my situation. That's not my story. So what do I do, right? Are you telling me that I'm just not supposed to be what I want to be or create the life I want to have because I can't follow the steps that are conventional, you know? So the answer is you can. You can do all of those things that you want to do. You don't have to stop dreaming. You don't have to settle for what life give you as a way to create it. You might have to work a little bit harder. You might have to take more steps. It may be a process, but you can do this. And I don't want you to ever feel like you can't. So that's why, that's where Around-the-Lectual Girl brand really came from. And that's really what I just strive to do.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And definitely by doing that, you're definitely helping out other people. So I truly appreciate you for doing that. And you might have touched on this a little bit, but I wanted to ask you for what I call your secret sauce. And this is what you feel kind of distinguishes you or sets you apart.
So my secret sauce is me. I'm my secret sauce. I put my all on the table. I speak directly from my heart. Whatever is on my heart to discuss, that's what I discuss. And I think that's resonated with a lot of people. Just being regular, degular, smegular with me, like it's nothing fancy about it. There's nothing special about it. I wish I could say that I had a special recipe that I can whip up, but it's not. I get up in the morning and, whatever is on my heart to discuss, whether I might have an idea to want to talk about something via video blog the day before, but something may have happened or I may have just wake up with something on my heart. And I try to discuss it the best way I can, and kind of give some solutions or kind of explain to people how I navigated through similar issues, to try to help push people through these things that we all encounter in life. And I don't try to, make it pretty or sugarcoat it. I am who I am. I'm goofy. I tend to curse sometimes, I am who I am, and I don't try to hide that. I give you full blown me if you watch any of my video blogs. But I guess the relatability seems to help people a lot to be able to get some of those feelings out. So I am my own secret sauce.
I love that. Definitely that makes perfect sense. And that resonates because a lot of times, you being who you are and having your life experiences and being able to tell your story is what distinguishes you and sets you apart and sets everything that you do apart, because it's an extension of what you are and who you are and everything you value. So I definitely appreciate that. And I wanted to switch gears a little bit and ask you for what I call a CEO hack. And this might be an app, a book, or a habit that you have, but it's something that makes you more effective and efficient.
A CEO hack. You know what? So something that I found first and foremost that has helped me tremendously, as a kid, I was very forgetful. I've always been very scatterbrained. I can't keep still. I'm always like, ah! So, my mom would always say, write it down. If you can't remember, write it down. Most kids always, their excuse is always, I forgot. Like, I really forgot. I really just couldn't remember to save my life. So she would always tell me, if you can't remember, write it down. So I started carrying a notebook. And, anytime I have a thought about something, whether it's an idea, for my brand, or whether it's just a thought of something that I want to do personally to work on myself or whatever, whatever I'm thinking, I carry a notebook. Actually, look, it's right here. Just a regular old notebook, and I just, I write everything down in here that I think of, and it's helped me tremendously because I'm so scatterbrained, and I think a lot of creatives are like that. You know, you get something 1 second, and then the next second it's like, dang, I had a really, really, really good thought, and I can't remember what it is. And, you know, sometimes it come back, and sometimes it don't, but it never come back when you want it to. You know? So I carry a notebook, and I jot down stuff all the time. Another thing that I've used very often to just skim through for like templates and stuff for business documents is score.org, I want to say it is.
Yeah.
And they have all type of templates for like small businesses and financial documents, like everything you can think of that will relate to like really getting your business in order. Score has it. So I rely heavily on that. Also, I exercise in the morning. And not because I'm so disciplined by far. I hate it. I'm from Louisiana. We love food. You know, I'd rather get full than work out, you know, but I do it because jump starting my day with a workout, you know, really like gets me moving, you know, it gets me like really going, gets me up. It starts to, you know, make my wheels really turn. I'm able to be more productive throughout the day. And even have more energy, you know, that in combination with trying to make better food choices. Because as a mom, you know, as a wife, as a creative, I work a full-time job, I work a part-time job, you know, you get spread thin. And if you're not properly taking care of your body, you know, you'll feel it quickly. But you would think that the effects would be even more so getting up and working out every day. But if I don't do that workout, I don't have the energy to do all the things that it is that needs to be done in a day. So that's actually 3 hacks of mine. I carry a notebook, I work out every morning, and I check out Score for any templates and stuff related to business.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I love those CEO hacks. And I know we talked a little bit offline about how important the morning routine was. But as a creative myself, I have a horrible memory, and I literally write everything down because I know I don't even fight it anymore. I know I'm going to forget. So I'll just write it down. So
So
I
you get it.
go, yes, I know exactly what you mean. So
Yeah.
now I wanted to ask you for what I call a CEO nugget. And this is a word of wisdom or piece of advice. If you can hop into a time machine, what would you tell your younger business self?
Man, a lot. Just from coming from that background of like, you know, not having very much to go off of, um, I would say that the opportunity that you're looking for might not always be there, um, but your drive will give birth to opportunity. So, you know, some people are fortunate enough to have things placed in front of them, you know, and no discredit to them for what they achieve, or, you know, it's great, but a lot of us don't, you know, and it's easy to get discouraged when you don't have the opportunity right in front of you. It's like, hey, I want to start a business. Okay, well, you don't know nobody who owns a business. You know, the first thing about running a business, you know, you don't have the money to start a business. You know, it's just all these different things that you could think of that's working against you. But if I could say anything, first and foremost to my younger self, I would say just because the opportunity is in front of you, don't mean you can't create it. You know, your drive, if you keep working at it, you keep trying, you keep getting up when you fall, eventually, you know, somebody is going to notice and somebody is going to open the door, and you're going to create opportunity for yourself simply off the fact that you just kept at it. So that in itself, also, you know what, I had a big problem with being prideful. You know, I've always been a very prideful person. As an adult, I still battle with it, but I've come to a point to where I learned how to identify it and kind of, you know, stop myself when I'm being too prideful. But I would tell my younger self, you know, you gotta put your pride in your back pocket. You know, if you want to achieve something, like, you have to go with your move. You can't be, you know, oh, I'm not going to reach out to this person, or, you know, I'm not going to talk to that person, or this person got to come to me first. And, you know, all of that type of stuff, man. Like, the bottom line is, you know, you want to achieve something. You know, so are you going to let your pride get in the way of you achieving? Because ain't nobody bringing opportunities to your front door. You know, and you cannot climb the ladder out here on your own merit, especially when you ain't nobody. You know, I always say the audacity, you know, the nerve of me to feel like I want to be prideful. Like, you don't have anything. You want to achieve something. you don't have the ability to be prideful and achieve what it is that you want to achieve. Like broke and prideful don't go together. That's not two things that mesh. So I would tell my younger self to put your pride in your back pocket, man, and go with your move.
Absolutely.
That's about it. I don't have any. Oh, you know what? You know what else I would say though? Plan, and then plan to fail, because you're gonna fail, and then plan again. So
exactly.
That's it, man.
No, I love all those, and it makes perfect sense, because a lot of times, you just have to be able to keep going at it. If you have a vision for what you want, you have to be able to kind of fight through that and understand that sometimes the road is not going to be as easy as everyone else's road, but you still have to kind of keep going at it. You might have to ask for people for a ride to get down the block or whatever you need to do. But, if you keep and you want what you want, then you just have to kind of keep at it and, get knocked down 7, 8 times, just get up 9, 10 times. And that'll definitely result in that. So I wanted to ask you my absolute favorite question, which is the definition of what it means to be a CEO. And Tyinna, we have different quote unquote CEOs on the show, but I wanted to ask you, what does being a CEO mean to you?
Okay, so being that I don't offer an actual a tangible product. I don't have a product that I sell that you can touch, feel. I feel like being a CEO, at one point it was all about, owning physical business, a building that you can touch, a product that you can sell, but in light of so many creatives and like so many wonderful people that's doing so many different things, that definition I feel like definitely has to adapt with the times. And I feel like, a CEO in its essence is a person or a creator of his or her own. If you create something, then you're the CEO of whatever that thing is, whether you can touch it, whether you can smell it, see it, whatever it is. It may be tangible, it may not, but, still in all, I feel like that person is a CEO because you've created your own.
Absolutely. I would definitely echo that, because a lot of times, no matter what you're creating, whatever you're working on, it's yours. You have ownership of it, no matter what degree you have it to. And definitely, that's a great reminder of what it means to be a CEO. And I love that definition as well. So I appreciate you, Tyinna. What I wanted to do was pass you the mic just to see if there's anything additional you want to let our readers and our listeners know. And of course, how best they can get a hold of you and find out about everything you're doing from your brand.
Okay, well, my brand, Around-the-Lectual Girl, I post motivational video blogs every single morning, Monday through Friday. So if you're looking for a morning push, you can find me on all your social media outlets at official ATL Girl. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Around-the-Lectual Girl. And you can email me if you have any questions or you just need a listening ear. Like I said, I'm not a life coach, I'm not a therapist, I'm not any of those things. I'm just a regular old person that's willing to listen, and you can get my honest opinion if you ever need to talk about anything. My inbox is always open, and that's aroundthelectualgirl@gmail.com.
Awesome. Well, Tyinna, I truly appreciate you for everything awesome that you're doing. Appreciate your time today. And we'll make sure to have all those links in the show notes so that everybody can follow up with you. But I hope you have a phenomenal rest of the day.
Thank you.